Yuumi champions like that to be taken away, but the LEC teams have certainly not been afraid of Yuumi thus far. Team Liquid's still going to be banning it out, and you know, Aurelia, certainly very, very high priority, still sitting at 100% presence on 9-12 in NA. Could be something that they would want to target here, but it will be the Master Yi bin.
All right, it's TSM.
It's TSM?
Tahm Kench 20 Master Yi, it's TSM.
Oh, no.
All right, I swear the rest of the game is going to be serious, folks. It was just the last ban.
Well, the first two bans were very serious.
They just wanted to leave open multiple picks so that they could get something back on red side. The Jarvan will be the first pick picked up by Team Liquid, one of the remaining top-tier junglers, and we'll see what OG want to go for. Of course, Mord still disabled. Don't get your hopes up, but Karma, very, very powerful and very frequently banned thus far in the tournament.
Yeah, Karma, another one that has been extremely high priority, but when you are kind of banning out some of these other picks along the lines of the Yasuo and the Neeko, some of those OPs are going to start to fall through. Karma is something that honestly can be played anywhere across the map, really. Not a jungler, but top, mid, bot, very, very powerful on 9-12. So something that Team Liquid will have to be aware of. We do also see, you know, Aatrox, Aurelia still available if they want to go for, you know, something along the lines of those solo laners. But no guarantee that they want to go that route just yet. A little bit surprised to see the early Lee Sin lock-in, as they didn't have to show jungle just yet. They may be wanting to save this third pick to see if a solo laner will be revealed that they can get a counter pick on in the first round. But otherwise, you know, TL is certainly going to be playing that Jarvan jungle, so you don't have to kind of have your hand forced to show the Lee Sin unless you're trying to hide a solo lane, which is what I'm going to assume Origen is looking to do.
Yeah, but hiding a solo lane when there are so many picks up and available that haven't prioritized things like the Aatrox, but the Sona going to be locked in, we can assume.
Sona Taric.
Taric to immediately follow here, so, you know, worked well for TL obviously earlier in the day.
Yeah, I mean, it did work, and their bot lane was, you know, very successful, but certainly you also have to take into consideration it was against the Yuumi Zed, right? You know, and that is certainly not the highest pressure lane that this is going to have to deal with. We've been seeing a lot of these LEC teams deal with this very, very well by bringing out super aggressive picks in the bottom lane. Kai'Sa looks like it's just going to be an insta-lock there, so Kai'Sa will be going down to that bottom lane. I will assume for now that it is going to be Karma Kai'Sa bot lane. You can certainly shift the Karma over to the mid lane if you want a super powerful kind of buff up the Kai'Sa style of game. But Kai'Sa, you know, not the most lane dominant of marksmen. This is more of a scaling pick. Can still have a strong laning phase, and Karma can be very oppressive. Remember, it is a Taric that has to do the farming in the early levels, so you know both these ranged characters can be harassing and pushing the Taric off of that farm and really holding down that 2v2 in that way. But this is nothing like the Neeko Gragas or you know these super kind of crazy picks or Draven or anything that we have seen a lot of teams utilizing to try to super punish this lane.
Absolutely, and Origen themselves bringing out, you know, Varus Blitzcrank in the past to punish this lane.
Exactly.
So I think a much tamer thus far. I'm actually surprised to see the Kai'Sa prioritize over something that they've used in the past, like the Varus, that is just on its own so lane dominant.
Doesn't mean that we're not going to get a pivot though. Again, you know, Karma can be flexed. They could try to throw down, you know, really spicy support pick alongside that if they wanted to go that route. And you can still go, you know, the scaling route. It's not that it is impossible to team fight against this. The other option is, hey, great, your 2v2 isn't super dominant. Well, what if there's 4 people there? What if there's 5 people there? You know, like Taliyah, Lee Sin, 2 champions that certainly could be making their way down to that bottom lane to look to punish Sona Taric pre-6. That is generally the timing that people are trying to make things happen before that Sona Taric do kind of get into that safety bubble with those double ultimates. Taliyah has had some wave clear nerfs, you know, in the past, so it has been falling off a little bit, but still very, very powerful roaming post-6. You know, even pre-6, the move speed along the walls can help you get out of lane and affect those side lanes very heavily. Jace, we are expecting to go up to Impact. He has, you know, kind of built up a bit of a name for himself on this pick and is looking stronger at it. If we do get the Lux, this would be, you know, very, very difficult to actually burst through. There's so much shielding in this. Definitely expecting this to be Lux mid. The Jace top. So Pantheon Taliyah going to be the bot lane, I believe, or I don't even know. Are they doing that? No, I guess they're just going to do a Pantheon top straight up.
Wait, just trust me, you're not used to this, but then you just wait. Wait for 20 seconds,
right.
Trust me.
We'll find out.
I think it's Pantheon Taliyah, I think it's the Karma top, and they're going to try to, I guess, super feed Nuke Duck, funnel resources in.
Yeah, I guess you can kind of do a semi-funnel, but like, we'll see how this works out. Either way, we will find out where they're going to finish swapping things around. But TL certainly running a very defensive comp. If you do allow a team like TL is running to actually end up in a situation where it's 5v5, it's later in the game, you have your items, it becomes almost impossible to get kills. You have the Taric ultimate, you have the AoE healing and shielding coming through from both the Bastion as well as the Sona heal. An AP mid-Lux with the W max becomes absurdly difficult to actually punch through that damage as well. So, Origen will have to execute, I think, on the early game very heavily. Taliyah Pantheon certainly can blast a Sona Taric lane, so they're going to be looking to hard camp that, I think, bring the Lee Sin down, try to punish this lane, try to put it way behind, because if you're not able to do so, Team Liquid should have a massive advantage come 5v5 time.
It's a huge hard commitment from Origen into this early game. Cold going straight for the Lee Sin. You said it yourself, picking it very early in the draft to try to secure it. Really the big question mark for me in this draft is the Kai'Sa mid lane coming in for Nukeduck. How is this going to function in the comp? It does offer some element of scaling, but when you look at TL and OG going toe-to-toe, I don't know if it's going to be enough.
So I have seen some in solo queue, some kind of hybrid AP Kai'Sa making its way around in mid lane. Certainly not a super common pick, but I've been seeing the kind of AP version of it a lot more than AD when it is played mid lane, so it's possible that we are getting something along those lines. This also could just be their fallback value. I mean, if Alphari is building AP for Karma top, and you have a farming AD Kai'Sa mid, if he's able to perform well against the Lux, then hey, you still have a really powerful scaling marksman. That being said, the engage may leave a little bit something to be desired. Origen, though, looking for a 4-man invade on top side. No one going to be there from Liquid to meet them, and they have a devastatingly strong level 1, so that is why I think Liquid has kind of warded that entrance brush and is sitting so far back on the bottom side. They really do not want to risk running into these guys, and I think we're even going to see Impact take the long way around the jungle. There's no reason you should risk running into Karma, Lee Sin, Pantheon, and Taliyah, some of the 4 strongest level 1 champions in the game.
And you can see him hugging the side of that wall, painfully aware of the danger that could be lurking for him.
He's even going to wait back at his tier 2 tower, I think, until the lane starts, because they know, how bad a game can go off of a tragic level 1. So certainly taking all the possible precautions.
And now, of course, we're just going to see a standard bot lane leash for the side of TL, starting out from Sona Taric. Once again, eyes on the Taric to CS in the early game, see what OG can do to stop that, to delay the inevitable spell thieves stacking from Sona, before she can start farming. And top lane, I'm actually genuinely excited to see. Impact has been, I won't call him an unsung hero anymore. People think I've been singing his praises plenty after MSI, but has been stepping up in performance. And I think another opportunity for him to go toe-to-toe with EU top laners is always exciting to see.
Yeah, so Smithy, I think, is just assuming that because they didn't see them on the bot side, that it was a top side invade, and it was. He should have been spotted perhaps by this ward. I'm not sure if he actually did flag drag over the Dragon Pit or not, but he's just assuming, I think, that it's going to be vertical jungling, and that's why he's going up to that blue buff. He could look to try to come behind this Origen bottom lane, but this has been warded out, so he's just going to continue farming this away. But Cold is actually not into vertical jungling just yet. He's still just kind of power farming inside of the map. If he does not go down into vertical jungling, this can result in Smithy getting a couple camps in the advantage. And he's actually going to go over and find that his blue buff is gone. So, a nice little start here for Smithy is he's going to have the couple additional camps to retreat back to, and we'll even be able to sweep out this ward, which is going to mean that Origen has to play it a little bit more carefully, not knowing if Smithy will commit the time to kind of sit around and try to gank this shortly after knocking down that ward.
And he was unspotted by the ward. It did have a confirmed buy production before that moment, so...
Yeah, I think he flag and dragged over the Dragon Pit to try to avoid any potential ward.
And I think good that he was there around the level 2 point. Of course, that's really where the kill pressure starts to ramp up for the Taliyah Pantheon.
Now that they know he actually did go into that vertical jungle, you're seeing Cold try to go over and counter the blue. It looks like he will be able to do this. He has his lanes pushing in right now, and we'll kind of find out how many camps he's going to be able to match back. Karma is going to be shoving very heavily in the early lane. The Kai'Sa, certainly had been kind of sitting back a little bit now, but it is Smithy, not trying to head up to that top side, so he's happy with just splitting the map. And I think TL in general should be happy playing an even game in the early stages. You don't need to try to fight for something like a 3-buff. You can just be happy. The longer the game goes without anything crazy happening, the better and better it gets for TL, right? So as long as you can keep eyes on them, you're going to be really, really feeling good about this. And Jensen utilizing that passive very well.
Nukeduck still stepping forward, has to be careful. Lux, of course, notoriously long cooldowns in the early game. Cold now stepping forward, but Smithy is here. level advantage for Cold as well. Stepping forward, same level, is going to miss the
step.
kick. Does get locked up there. Immediate CC has to flash out. Not quite perfectly timed, so Cold is able to escape.
I don't understand why Cold just didn't walk out the top. Like, he could have just walked up towards his red buff and avoided that completely. Instead, he makes a very risky play, trying to actually go towards the Lux through the Jarvan that he sees. Ends up having to blow his flash. So, you know, a key playmaking ability there now down for the Lee Sin, and Doublelift here making his way towards mid lane, perhaps expecting to be able to counter some sort of a play. But CoreJJ gonna be a bit exposed here now on the bottom side. As Doublelift just showing up, I think he's helping to try to reset this wave actually. The wave definitely not in a great position now for them on this bottom side. But
Flash away. Nukeduck is going to be able to make it out to safety, but good use of the flag and drag there to force the flash from Nukeduck, and Nukeduck not going to be able to approach the tower. And crucial here for Doublelift, he's going to be able to grab these free stacks. Cold's on the backside, but 3 members strong. He cannot commit to that. Taliyah, however, on the roam up, maybe they can find a play here.
Yeah, I mean, if Doublelift can actually force, you know, this Taliyah Pantheon bot lane to split up, I do think it's actually fairly good for them. They have to be careful about this, though.
Back there for Jensen, but there's no follow-up CC. That's all that they've got now.
But I mean, if you look down to the bottom side, if CoreJJ is going to be able to farm, you know, evenly against the Pantheon, you're feeling so good about that. Taric outscales this Pantheon ridiculously hard. You know, the Pantheon Taliyah is really 100% about the setup with the Pantheon stun and the fling for the full 100-0 combo. If you're not actually grouping up, if you're not together, that is certainly very, very good. So Doublelift just showing up mid lane, you know, poking away at that turret a little bit, getting some Spell Thief's gold here, and CoreJJ is sitting bottom lane farming evenly against this, but Doublelift does have to be careful here.
The knockback is there, the follow-up immediately. They're going to try to find this one Cold over the wall. Good first blood pickup on the side of OG. Doublelift a little too confident stepping forward there.
Yeah, I mean, Doublelift needed to flash that. As soon as you see the seismic shove is going to land, there's no real excuse. You need to flash. If you get hit by that full combo, you will die. He does elect to just sit on that summoner and is going to go down as a result. They're looking for Patrick now, though.
The knockback comes out once again. Mithy is going to step forward, but CoreJJ is still strong in his own right. No mana, however, left. Will still force them back. The creep wave massive for the side of TL.
Yeah, they really need to push it in and get it reset. That is why they are actually pushing for this so heavily, and that is why Smithy is now down here on the bottom side. They need to get this wave in. It's been kind of meandering around and stuck in this middle position where they've been losing a lot of creeps actually to the enemy creeps here essentially. So we'll get that reset, but it does cost Doublelift his flash. And remember, you're not having a flash that first all in, he is now going to be summonerless for a potential second one. If he does get hit, he will go down. So let's watch this one more time. As soon as you see the seismic shove is on you, you have to flash that. 100%, you need to flash back into the brush. That would have cost him his summoner. Yes, that sucks, but you do keep your life in that sort of a spot. Mithy, though, quick, as soon as he didn't flash it to punish him, you know, flashes in, has a follow-up stun, and they are able to get the burst down and didn't even need to use the Ignite, which is pretty critical. But overall, I would say TL are still pretty happy with how this game has gone. You are down 700-800 gold, but that is honestly very, very okay, given the compositions and given the position you're at with Sona, you know, sitting at level 4, CoreJJ is level 5, he's working towards his 6. Once these guys hit their ultimates, they're going to be feeling so much more safe and secure in this 2v2. And CoreJJ is actually almost 6. He's very, very close because he got a lot of solo experience while Doublelift did roam away.
And here comes Smithy. Is he going to find the flag and drag? Waiting in the fog of war, will not commit for it in the end. Control Ward will now spot him out, stopping plays in motion. Mithy hitting level 6, but Pantheon level 6, while it does get you across the map, not going to be crucial in this 2v2.
No, definitely not, unless they can kind of get Team Liquid to overextend. But TL now has the wave in their favor on that bottom side. The wave is pushing towards them, so now it's up to Origen to overextend and kind of push this out, try to get the wave reset. That's, again, why they are calling their jungler down. And we've seen so much jungle action down around this bottom side, even just to try to protect the members to get this here. But Jensen is around as well.
A lot of damage down onto Smithy. Can they take down Patrick? Is he going to just flash right up the wall? Cold now needs to retreat. Mithy potentially in trouble, but both sides just seem set to back off. Binding will not connect. In the end, not a lot going to be burned. Does force the flash out from Patrick.
Yep, so certainly still in TL's favor. Impact needs to back off. He's going to get caught by that tether.
A lot of damage here.
Look at the slow.
You do not want to fight Karma in an extended fight. Another burn, maybe hammer form.
He could be dead here.
Just gonna walk him down. This is the Karma special. The early flash forward to make sure it connects. Alphari grabbing the solo kill on the top side.
Yeah, absolute outplay for Alphari. Impact needs to know better than that. With the 9-12 changes, Karma slows are so big. If you do kind of chase down, you can get run down so easily. And this is the tank Karma. You can see the Glacial bot up there already. He is going to be working towards likely an Iceborne, I would assume. Probably going to be going Iceborne. Sometimes people go Iceborne into AP. Sometimes it is Iceborne Spirit Visage. But here this is one more time. In fact, you do not want to jump forward into this. You get the tether on. You continually hit this Qs, and it's very easy to kind of sit outside that melee range.
Oh, here comes Pantheon. Leap right in. The Targal's going to buy a bit more time, though. Doublelift able to make it out so far. Smithy on the way in. Level 6 for the Jarvan. Flag, the drag, the Cataclysm will not come out. OG going to back away.
And that is that critical level 6 for Taric. You know, didn't even have to blow the exhaust there. Did have some of the solo experience as Doublelift was roaming. Cole's going to stay around in the area, though. And they do have a ward in the brush, so they certainly know Smithy is here. But Smithy's job, definitely just to protect this bottom lane, trying to keep them safe from any potential dives. CoreJJ farming fairly well. Certainly the gold lead will be to the Origin side in this bottom lane, but Sona Taric kind of expected to be losing there. Elsewhere on the map, you know, very even, and it's actually the tier build here for Nukeduck, so did rush the Manamune. You do actually get the tier procs on your Q, so that coming out, I do believe you can get some hits there. There was an interaction there that I had been told about.
So the Death Dance interaction that they nerfed about making it single target was taken away around the Death Dance patch. However, it's still incredibly strong, and with the 10 AD buff given, it now gets you to 100 AD when combined with the Rage Blade as well as, or no, just the Rage Blade rather, should be enough.
Yeah. So still going to be going AD. It is not the AP build that I had been thinking may have come out. Either way, it will be TL heading over to this Dragon. This is an Infernal. They want to fight for this, and all 5 members of TL are moving down here.
A bit more time immediately. The leap forward. Nukeduck on the backside. Big Lux Salt. Only going to hit one. It's not going to matter. 3 quick kills picked up. Nukeduck now running for his life. Can he take down CoreJJ? It's him versus the world. Wants to take down the Targ. The healing is there. The dazzle is there. But Nukeduck will find a kill and flash out in fashion. Not enough, however, as TL take the fight.
Yeah, 3 for 1 there for TL and the Infernal. Very big win for Team Liquid. We're going to be really happy about that one. Here it is one more time as TL and Origin do battle it out. Origin did not have teleport on their top laner. They decided to go for the fight, though, as Jace is not yet here. But in the 4v4, the Cataclysm comes down, the Sona ult, the Taric stun, all layered across, as well as that Lux ultimate. Nukeduck, nice sidestep on that final Dazzle stun to be able to get the 5th hit of that passive and actually execute CoreJJ. Very well done from him there, but it is still in a heavily losing fight. And Team Liquid, you know, getting closer to those items that they need to really start to kind of be feeling quite secure in this game.
And you talk about the compositional differences, and we saw it right there. The sheer amount of, I mean, potentially game-changing ultimates on the side of TL versus, you know, a lot of utility on the side of Alphari, Patrick, the ability to roam the map. Mithy, yes, Pantheon ult, you can have those big, glorious moments, but they're very infrequent. And we talked about the pressure on OG to find an early game lead, to snowball this game out of control. It's an okay lead, but it is not enough that they can calm down anytime soon.
No, definitely not. And I mean, there are always the opportunities to try to kind of play side lanes and utilize the Pantheon and the Taliyah to try to make collapses and try to play a very scrappy game. Certainly TL would want to be group 5 and utilize their strengths, but now they're going to get a pick.
Locked up and burned down instantly. You can see the Executioners calling, and Mithy's back pocket will not let that get healed through. Smithy, though, there to shadow him. Are going to be able to use the Demolish. Maybe look to break a single plate here. Will not commit for the second one. Patrick throwing down a little bit more damage. Getting ready to lock up Mithy. Has to be careful about the 1v1, though. Pantheon still decently strong at this point in the game.
Yeah, certainly doesn't have too much in the way of damage, but you do still have to respect it. Grab the early Executioners for that healing debuff that he will be able to apply. But as much as Team Liquid will be feeling good about, you know, 5v5, Origin can do what they just did there. They can look around for picks. They have established a lot of vision. You can see in this topside river, they're trying to kind of set up this zone of control as we actually are going into a pause. But, you know, all along this area, they have wards to kind of cover their roams up and down this map. And that is going to allow them to essentially be roaming back and forth between mid and top lane very, very quickly, you know, threatening potential dives on impact, threatening potential dives and collapses on that bottom side. And CoreJJ, who is trying to fight for vision in that topside river, does get picked off as a result. So it's this sort of scrappy play that Origin can now kind of fall back to, as their early game was definitely not dominant, you know, with this Taliyah Pantheon, not dominant with the Lee Sin. We'll see if they're going to be able to actually, you know, pull through in this mid game, because really, I would say their kind of biggest lead right now is up in that top lane. But Tank Karma doesn't really excel in the 5v5. It's more of kind of this abusive 1v1 style of play where you have the Sheen procs, you know, you have the Klepto, you can poke away at turrets pretty well with your auto attacks, and Pretty strong in the 1v1, but not devastating in the 5v5, where she doesn't usually have enough burst damage to really change things up.
Or enough AP scaling really to maximize the shielding that you can give to the rest of your team.
Yeah.
And of course, scaling not the name of the game for OG. Pauses, however, are we do have a brief one on stage. Mithy's peripherals have lost power, so we will be getting that fixed and back into game as quick as we can. In the meantime, though, I think I like the way TL have been playing. It feels like Smithy's been shadowing the lanes very well. Now, there are a few moments where you can see that OG get away with it. Doublelift probably should have flashed on the bottom side, but otherwise, pretty clean, pretty comfortable game for TL. Sitting back, scaling up, and knowing that they are really not under the pressure to be the big playmakers until they have a few more items under their belt.
Yeah, definitely the case. And, you know, the USB hub for Mithy, the cord came a little bit loose. It seemed got jiggled a bit. So it is all fixed up now. We are resuming. We're going to be heading right back into the game. But yeah, TL certainly has not played flawless. You know, Impact getting solo kill on the top side, I think certainly a mistake there. He opted into that fight, jumping forward, then getting punished for it. And, you know, Doublelift getting picked off on that bottom side, certainly I think a mistake there as well. But, you know, Origen has kind of capitalized when TL has made mistakes. But overall, TL I think is going to be pretty happy about the position that they're in. They have incredibly strong late game, incredibly strong scaling. And despite the fact that Origen will want to play this kind of scrappy, avoid TL style, when you have Sonateric Lux, in a post 20 minutes in that later game, one of the things you can always do is just go to Baron and force them to come to you.
Absolutely, but in the meantime, OG will get the flash on the top side from Jensen. The instant ult to stop any more pressure. However, enough damage coming out, as well as the Aegis passive to stop any fallout from the tower. And just in time as turret plating is 30 seconds away from falling. But Impact on the bottom side is going to get a big amount of gold going into his back pocket as he is uncontested breaking plates on the bottom side.
Yeah, exactly. So that ult just to kind of buy time, try to clear out a wave. He is going to be able to get one more plate, potentially finish off that turret before the 14-minute mark. And you know, this is actually a race for first turret. I'm surprised Origen didn't stay around to actually try to guarantee that. It will actually be, as a result, TL that get the first turret. You know, there were multiple members up there from Origen. They don't even knock down the turret. So I do think a little bit of a mistake there. Not the end of the world, though, as they are working likely on that Rift Herald. I could see Lee Sin over there in the river. Will be probably trying to grab that for his team. So yeah, Rift Herald will fall for Origen. They can certainly use this top lane if they want, just guarantee the turret, or mid lane to try to kind of threaten that. If you could take down that mid lane turret, I think that would be critical for Origen to try to open up the map and expand their kind of areas of power where they can look more and more for some of these kind of picks. And you know, taking down that first ring of towers allows them to go for much more aggressive plays with the Pantheon ult, with the Taliyah ultimate. And we haven't even seen the Taliyah ultimate used thus far in 14 minutes of gameplay.
Interesting as well that the Taliyah is opting for just the early double magic pen items, not seeing a Ludens, not seeing a Lost Chapter coming out. So Patrick very clearly focused on having a bit of kill pressure there, not as worried about the wave clear.
Yeah. And I think that makes sense, right? You know, when you're thinking about how this Pantheon Taliyah combo is supposed to actually work, it's about the one shot, right? And that's why he's going Electrocute. That is why he's going double Spell Pen instead of building more mana and things like Airy that you sometimes see, or other options. Impact, though, getting collapsed on here.
Locked up, Lee Sin coming through. Sonic Wave is going to connect. Nice sidestep.
Yeah. Jigs?
Yeah. That's what you call synergy, folks.
All right, down to the bottom side as Impact does survive. You can see this next dragon may be a point of contest. We'll find out, does TL actually want to take this fight? You know, Origen right now feel like they're trying to force something, and they are looking for Smithy. TL would like to 5v5, but also scaling is the name of the game for their composition, so they're going to try to land some poke here with the Jace, and now they're going in!
Follow up immediately, Taliyah's just taken out. Team Liquid in total control of that mid lane fight as they find the quick pick.
Yeah, really well done there. The double flash from Doublelift and Smithy going in. And now, poke does not matter at all against this composition. You can see Origen going to have to completely give up this objective. I talked about how easily you can actually work on that Baron because you have so much healing, so much shielding. Now with the Mountain Dragon to their name, that just gets that much easier. So Origen losing out around both of these neutral objectives. And you know, as we see more and more of these items coming through, as the Archangels get fully stacked up, Sona becomes harder to burst down, and it just gets more and more difficult for these guys.
And we look at the burst options, and yes, you have a Lee Sin. He's looking comfortable with Warrior. Yes, you have the Taliyah Pantheon combo, but Kai'Sa and Tank Karma are not a part of that burst combo, and I actually favor the burst on the side of TL at this stage of the game.
Yeah. I mean, if you can actually hit a stun, you know, with the Pantheon, you still, I think, can one-shot some of the squishies potentially with that Taliyah combo. But you know, I think the name of the game again is going to be scrappy play. It's going to be diving in. You know, one of the things that Kai'Sa does have is the follow-up ultimate. You know, if you Pantheon ult in on the side lane on someone, you hit them with a stun, Plasma is applied, you can ult in to follow up. Because I don't think that they really will be having a great time in organized 5v5 if they are not getting a pick to start the fight. So we'll see if they can kind of play out this very interesting composition that they have drafted for themselves here.
Interesting to see what the options are. For now, it's going to be assigning Patrick into the mid lane. Nukeduck going to go on the top side, but Patrick once again the center of attention here. This time the flash available will just be able to make it out. Smithy already spotted on the ward. Herald used on the bottom side. The Karma going to welcome this backup to break the first tier 1 tower. Now Impact potentially in trouble if he doesn't know Cold is coming, but is now spotted out on vision, so Impact knows just to back off. Meanwhile, TL and the rest of the map will use this opportunity to looks like to reset as both the Lux and the J4 will return to base.
Yeah, I'm going to try to head down, and I think TL for the most part are going to be having to really watch their lane assignments very well. You don't want to be caught up too much in just chasing Origin around the map, but also if you ignore their plays on the side lanes too heavily, you know, and they can pull off a dive on Impact, then they can start knocking down turrets. So it really is this delicate balance, and a lot of that is going to play around how well can TL maintain vision, because thus far, you know, it is actually Origin getting a lot more wards, you know, on this bottom side. You can see 4 or 5 wards in that area. TL trying to fight back, trying to extend their vision forward, but it really is Origin with the more aggressive warding on this side of the map.
And right now, it's giving them that setup, that comfort to move in deeper, trying to secure mid lane priority. Obviously difficult as Sona and Taric continue to scale away, slowly building towards that Lich Bane. But we are at a point of the game where it's pretty much all eyes on Mithy. Elise in to maybe get a play kicked off here. Fortunately, so has to be careful about stepping forward. Smithy waiting in the wings. Cold now going to be the center of attention. The CC is there. The crescendo, however, will not connect, and Cold will be able to make it out to safety.
Yeah, the dazzle hit, but the flash comes through from Cold. He is able to get out with his ult and flash. Doublelift not able to connect on his ultimate as a result, and at least in though pushed back again, and every time Lee has no flash available, you know, that playmaking opportunity certainly gets reduced very, very heavily. You can see Smithy, it looks like, is just going Cinder Hulk into Black Cleaver, probably full tank out of that. You do want your Jarvan in this type of composition to be able to deal some damage and to kind of be an additional threat of physical damage, but certainly not necessary for him to be, you know, full squishy, full DPS style of play, because you're looking for long fights.
He said before the knock is going to be crucial. Can they kill Doublelift before it comes down? Buying a bit more time. He will go invulnerable. 2.5 seconds. Cold going to fish, but will not find the Sonic Wave. And now it's disaster for OG. Locked in the cage and knocked down in an instant. Impact line forward. How far he's still taking, but it doesn't matter. He threads the needle. He finds the kill. Locked up under the tower. Tank Karma, but not tanky enough. Impact grabs the double.
Yeah, they're going to knock down this turret. They can push for 2 here. TL battling back. Origin cannot get the kill on Doublelift, and look at Doublelift now back to full health pretty much here. Healing right back up. They will knock down 2 turrets, get 3 kills to 0, and Team Liquid feeling like they are taking full control.
Absolutely are. We can take a look back now at this replay, see exactly how it unfolded, where OG felt they had the opportunity.
Yep, flashing in. They do hit the combo, but you can see the heals coming out from both the Bastion shield, the Doublelift shield that is coming out on your W, and then flash in from Smithy. Ult hits 2. Jensen there with the follow-up from the Lux, and then the Shock Blast threaded the needle from Impact. Gets 1 kill, and they're able to knock down the second. Yeah, Tank Karma certainly not able to stand up in that fight. And Alphari is going back into AP. You can see Chalice, you can see working towards Leandries. So trying to have more of kind of that supportive style and be more effective in the team fights, but gonna really have a difficult time, I think, unless Nukeduck can free fire in these long fights. And even then, there's just too much shielding and healing from TL unless you get that initial kill.
If your game plan is to team fight the Karma Taric, it is not a good game plan.
Yeah, but I mean, here it is again. You know, a good dragon coming up here for TL. It is the Infernal spawning in 10. TL's actually just running down mid lane here. They have mid lane priority. They are looking for this inhibitor tower. Origin have to make a decision. Do you just give it up and actually try to take the Infernal? It looks like they're sending Nukeduck to solo the dragon. The rest of them are coming home. Now Cold going back to the dragon, so they're just giving up the inhibitor here and trying to trade. They may try to pull off some sort of a trap and punish TL on the way out, but they do at least get an Infernal.
And there's no one there to punish. They put in clear wall, but there's no follow-up, so congrats on the Infernal, but giving up the inhibitor is brutal at this stage of the game. TL in absolute control. OG trying something, but it is not looking very effective.
Yeah, I mean, Origen just making the decision that, hey, we can't contest anyway, so let's just try to get something else, right? If you say you cannot 5v5, then give it up, try to get, you know, the kind of best of a bad situation. TL now, Pink inside and outside the pit. They can start this Baron up anytime they want because there's no threat of the Baron getting them low with Taric and Sona. And now they're going to set up this trap here on the side, looking for Origen.
Zeroid leaping in, Xmithie ulting, locking down 3. Now they're all going to be invulnerable. They're just going to walk through this Origen lineup. A shielded up Nukeduck may try to fire back, but Xmithie way too squishy, cannot step forward like that. Nukeduck locked up as well. Ooh, the laser doesn't even need to find a target. He's dead before it drops. Alphari, the last man standing. They can chase if they want, but it might not be worth their while. Impact looks for a little bit of revenge here, but he'll advise to 1v1 against Alphari at this stage of the game. He will just walk away eventually.
Just leave the Karma alone. Go take the Baron.
Take the Baron. What are you, take Karma? Are they gonna, can they kill him? Thank you, Ace. Comes through for TL. Finally, the tank Karma dies.
And they're going to TP over to the Baron pit. This will be theirs, very likely. Cold is up, but we'll see if he can actually get there in time. Patrick has TP back in as well. We'll see if TL is punished at all for kind of spending that time chasing, but I think the Baron should be gone before Origen can really respond.
Ooh, taken out. The Pantheon ult, he's going to feel real bad about that one when he lands right into the meat grinder of the opposing squad. Patrick is forced to flash away. Double up's incredibly low. But the healing is there. CoreJJ out of mana. OG, they can win the fight if they can find it, but it doesn't look like they're going to get the chance.
Yeah, TL should be able to all get safely back to base. They're going to get a blue buff as a consolation prize, but a very small one at that. All the items coming through here. And here's the replay one more time, utilizing this Jarvan Lux combo so effectively. You can see the acceleration gate in. Xmithie flashes forward. The Bastion dazzles, stunning multiple Lux ult coming through. And when Taric lands, but they're looking for a pick on the side lane. Oh my
no,
God!
He kills him. Cold can even find the kill now. The healing coming through has to land the Sonic Wave, but Jensen is here. There's so much shielding. Cold realizes he's got more than he can do. The binding ram! Boom! Bye, baby! Rampage for Jensen.
Click, click, boom! Jensen on the Lux. Popping off here. The shields are in full effect, and TL marching it down to USA Champs.
And the LCS studio has woke up. No longer the library for Europe, but definitely a rowdy crowd for North America. TL pushing down on the top side. Like they're ready to end the game. I don't think Origen have much left in the tank.
No, I don't think they do either. TL is looking so ridiculously strong. Cold not even alive. Another inhibitor tower will fall here.
That's a level 10 Talia. That doesn't do anything. They're backing away. Nukeduck's incredibly low. Patrick throwing some rocks. Not a lot gonna happen quite yet. Big shock blast though. Impact doing a ton of damage here. And Team Liquid walking the Baron minions in, slowly but surely poking away at the enemy composition. OG need to pull the trigger now or they will just lose the game.
I don't really think they have any trigger to pull at this point. They're playing with the Nerf gun and TL is looking very, very strong. They're just gonna wait for the supers to come in mid lane and I think this is gonna do it.
Last dance, Xmithie goes in, they just immediately target off. They're gonna be able to manage to grab one, but no, in the end, nobody gonna die. Impact, and the rest of the team still alive. Nukeduck taken down where he stands. Only Alphari left up. TL might go for a little bit of BM, and they certainly, or even certainly had a chance. NA, though, gonna keep their eye on the prize, not interested in the tank Karma. Or are they? Instead, dance on him, Impact, you earned it. And that's gonna be the win for TL.
A well-played game here from Team Liquid. Playing it safe in the early game, scaling up, and Origen, no answers to be found for them in that late game stage. They were not able to contest Team Liquid.
And honestly, impressive game from TL. Knew exactly what they needed to do in the early game. Did not make, you know, they made one or two missteps, but did not fall far enough behind. As usually a Pantheon took over the game, and a good look overall.
Yeah, certainly the case. And this is, you know, a risky type of draft for Origen. It's very heavily execution-based. You've got to be able to pull off these all-ins non-stop. They were not able to do it. TL now sitting at 2-1, while the rest of NA is still winless. Certainly seeming like the hope for the LCS in this event. We'll see if they can contest Europe in the gauntlet tomorrow.
The relay, of course, gonna be difficult. See if TL can find a win there. It will, of course, be a start. We'll get a chance to play in Game 4 again if they are able to find one of those wins. And the Sadamumu, this time for Europe. And I liked Karma top, and the rest of it wasn't so sure about. Let's say it that way from the side of OG.
I mean, I think it's one of those compositions that can look good if you dominate early. They didn't, and then it tends to look like a little bit of pie in the face.
Was a bit pie in the face, excellently described. For more on that game, Rip is standing by with the jungler from the Triumphant team.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Great cast on the day. I am joined by Xmithy after their victory over OG. Another win for NA. Seemed a little bit more loose for the team. You guys seem like you were feeling pretty good coming into this one.
Yeah, we were just trying to have fun as much as we can, and yeah, playing Sonateric is, I guess, pretty fun.
We saw online on media, you kind of said the EU has you guys in a few of the points across the game, and that was just the truth. What do you think for NA are the low-hanging fruits where we can start to attack those points of weakness and get on a level where we're just smashing EU?
I mean, we're pretty good at teamfight, I think. Not teamfight tactics, but just.
Yeah, of course.
But we're pretty good, just like being really good as a team, and our macro is improving day by day. And playing against EU teams, whether or not maybe serious or not, we're still learning a ton.
Right on, Xmithy. Thank you so much. Congratulations on the win. Picking NA up a little bit as we throw to the State Farm analyst desk to break that down.
Thank you very much, Rip. We'll take them both, team fighting and team fight tactics. I think NA's got it.
We definitely have an early start on team fight tactics.
Yeah, without a doubt. At least from the broadcast perspective, we would crush them. But TL does find the second win of the tournament for NA here. That will feel good for the 1 seed moving towards that best-of-5 relay race, where I think many expect them to be the hope for NA to maybe carry a game or two if we are to come away with the win.
Already abandoning on the whole best-of-5 there, Dash. Not confident that TSM.
No, I said that they would be the one that it's just that, you know what? I don't need to justify this to you. Let's talk about this game, Betty.
Let's talk about the game, because we did see, once again, kind of mirror matchups down towards the bot side of the map, where Griffin, in the end of spring, in the finals, they actually brought out this Taliyah Pantheon lane up against SKT, and it was all about trying to snowball early, trying to get ahead. But while they found a couple picks, they weren't really able to snowball that massively. They were catching a couple of members out of Team Liquid throughout the early game, but it never really resulted in anything significant, which allowed a lot of time for Team Liquid to just ramp up scale and get to the point where they could just force these team fights that they are so confident in.
Yeah, I mean, they really just did not play to their composition. OG drafted Taliyah Pantheon. They got some early kills. You're supposed to use those ultimates, the semi-global ultimates. You spread the map, you continue to look for pickoffs, and you have this burst damage that you actually get people while they're transitioning across the map. You don't go all mid lane and team fight the Sonateric team. That is the way to lose.
I also questioned why they decided to run the Kai'Sa as well, because it felt like it didn't offer a lot of value in this comp. Note that they don't have the greatest amount of utility. Their hope is to kind of get a pick, but when you're grouping up as a 5-man unit, you're just asking to teamfight this Team Liquid comp, and it was so easy for the Jarvan to just set up the EQ combo, land the ultimate, and then the follow-up is very easy from the likes of a Lux and the Sona as well.
Right, I'd understand a bit more like the TF that we've seen in the mid lane here. Just add globals to globals to globals and continue the pick-oriented play. But for Team Liquid, as Xmithy mentioned, when you do choose to stack up against them in the 5v5, that is one of their strengths. Add to that their comp already being geared towards that, and it's almost a certain victory.
Yeah, you have to play the side lanes in this situation. I mean, EU always memes about NA in the mid lane, yet this time around, it's OG all going through mid.
Yeah, meme all you want.
My favorite part about that was that the top tier 1 was up, the bot tier 2 was up for Origin as well, and they kept running it down mid lane, and TL's like, this is our environment, we're ready to fight you here, and they did it every single time.
Look, the mid lane is the shortest distance between our Nexus and theirs.
Exactly.
Right? So it's just efficiency.
But also the way they set up the Baron was very good as well. They had full river control, and like, again, it looked like the Origin was saying, hey, we can get mid-prio here and we can actually use this to try and challenge for the Baron. But TL was just setting up this really nice trap where they were saying, we actually don't want to start the Baron. We're going to catch you while you're setting up this mid-prio, and then we'll look to punish. So I think we saw a lot of positive things from Team Liquid. I hope this reinforces their win from earlier in the day when they beat G2, even though they were running a composition that many wouldn't take as seriously as others. I think that this is a better demonstration of what TL is capable of and why teams like G2 still still showcase the respect to this team and what they're capable of.
I think the one fear that I can see, even in a win like this, is the idea that Sona Taric is what we keep reaching for.
Yeah.
Right? And so, you know, while Europe continues to test new things on the stage, again, looking forward to tomorrow, any European team can now go into a game against Team Liquid and be pretty certain what TL will reach for if it's left open.
Yeah, I mean, I personally really wanted to see Doublelift and Core JJ on a regular bottom lane for them because I felt like that would be an advantage for Team Liquid. You know,
Right, we saw Caitlyn Lux most recently in Summer Split here in NA, and they've shown dominance in being able to control the lane that way. I mean, again, speaking to the Alistairs of old, I understand he's out of the meta, but like, where are those playmakers? Where's the Rakan? Where's the ability to unlock Core JJ to really make plays around the map?
But you can see the power of the team fighting of Sona Taric and the healing that does come in, why they keep going back to it. It feels like they're trying to prove the point of like why the priority is still on these champions and trying to like display, hey, a lot of the professional teams want them nerfed.
Yeah,
But
without
I think
a doubt.
tomorrow is going to be a bigger test for Team Liquid because I think expectations are that Origin is looking for TSM. We already talked a little bit about this earlier in the day. And the question mark is, which will it be, Fnatic or G2? So far in this tournament, only Fnatic has been able to usurp Team Liquid, but I do know that both European representatives want to stamp their authority on the top representative from North America.
Quite true. 2-6 is the record between the regions here as we move towards Game 5, right around the corner. TSM and Fnatic face off when we return.